In this video, I'm going to introduce you to 8 dermatologists who are absolute skincare saviors. They're not just experts in their field, they're also super relatable and share their wisdom on social media, so you can get your daily dose of skin knowledge without having to book an appointment and without spending thousands of dollars. First on the list is Dr. Sandra Lee, better known as Dr. Pimple Popper. And before you roll your eyes at the name, let me just say, this woman is a legend. Dr. Lee didn't become famous for just popping pimples, though let's be honest, those videos are weirdly satisfying. She became a household name because she makes skincare approachable. You know how you sometimes feel like your skincare routine is basically throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks? Dr. Lee cuts through that nonsense. She's all about keeping it simple and effective. Her philosophy? Don't overload your skin with a million products. Just stick to what works. One thing she's big on is not skipping your sunscreen. And trust me, if you're still skipping it, she'd be giving you the side eye. She also breaks down why certain things like salicylic acid work so well for acne. Salicylic acid is a type of beta-hydroxy acid, BHA. Don't freak out at the name. All it means is that it can penetrate oily skin and pores really well, making it a superhero for treating acne. Dr. Lee's skincare line, SLMD Skincare, is basically her handing you the tools to handle your skin like a pro, without all the guesswork. Next, we've got Dr. Shereene Idriss, also known as the Pillow Talk Derm. Now, if you're into skincare at all, you've probably stumbled across one of her videos where she's chilling at home, dropping truth bombs about your skincare routine. Dr. Idriss is the queen of debunking skincare myths, and she's not afraid to tell it like it is. For instance, let's talk about makeup wipes. Yes, they're convenient, but Dr. Idriss will be the first to tell you that they're not your skin's best friend. Those wipes might remove your makeup, but they're also leaving behind a residue and not actually cleaning your skin. Plus, all that tugging isn't doing your face any favors. She's also big on educating her followers about retinoids, which are basically the gold standard for anti-aging. But here's the thing, you can't just slather it on and expect to wake up looking 20 years younger. Dr. Idriss explains that retinoids work by increasing cell turnover, which means they help your skin shed old, dead cells and reveal the fresh, new ones underneath. But with great power comes great responsibility. You've got to ease into using retinoids, especially if you have sensitive skin. Start with a lower concentration and work your way up. And, as always, pair it with sunscreen, because retinoids can make your skin more sensitive to the sun. Dr. Tiffany Libby is all about balancing effective skincare with the hustle and bustle of daily life. She's a double board certified dermatologist who has made a name for herself as a laser expert. Think of her as the ultimate multitasker of the skincare world. She's the one you turn to when you want serious results but don't have hours to spend on your routine. One of the things Dr. Libby emphasizes is that you don't need a 10-step skincare routine to see improvements. She's a big believer in using high-quality, multifunctional products that deliver results without taking up too much time. So, if you're juggling work, family, and everything in between, her tips are perfect. Plus, she's not afraid to get into the nitty-gritty of treatments like laser resurfacing and chemical peels, explaining in simple terms how these procedures work and who they're best for. Her advice feels like it's coming from that friend who's always in the know about the latest beauty trends, but can break it down in a way that's easy to understand. Let's talk about Dr. Whitney Bowe next. Dr. Bowe is all about that glow, but not in a superficial Instagram filter kind of way. She's really into the science of skin health and how what's going on inside your body affects what's happening on the outside. If you've ever heard the phrase, "you are what you eat," Dr. Bowe is here to tell you that it's especially true when it comes to your skin. She's done a ton of research on the gut-skin connection, which basically means that the health of your gut can influence the health of your skin. Ever notice that when you're stressed or eating junk, your skin starts freaking out? That's not a coincidence. Dr. Bowe explains that when your gut is out of whack, like when you're stressed or eating poorly, it can lead to inflammation, which can then trigger skin issues like acne, eczema, and even premature aging. One of her signature pieces of advice is to incorporate probiotics into your diet, which are the good bacteria that help keep your gut in balance. And speaking of balance, Dr. Bowe is also the brains behind skin cycling, a method that's taken the skincare world by storm. It's all about rotating your products to give your skin time to recover between treatments. For example, you might use an exfoliant one night, a retinoid the next, and then spend the following nights focusing on hydration and recovery. This cycle helps prevent irritation and make sure your skin is getting the full benefits of each product. Dr. Chris Tomasian is your guy if you're overwhelmed by the sheer number of skincare products out there. He's all about making skincare straightforward and effective without drowning you in information. His TikToks and Instagram posts are filled with easy-to-follow tips, like how to layer your products correctly or why you don't need to splurge on a dozen serums to get good skin. What makes Dr. Tomasian really relatable is his emphasis on a minimalist approach. He's a big advocate for sticking to the basics. Think gentle cleansers, moisturizers, and sunscreens, and only adding in other products as needed. He often debunks common misconceptions, like the idea that you need to use a ton of different acids or exfoliants to have clear skin. His goal is to show you that good skincare doesn't have to be complicated or expensive, and that you can achieve great results with just a few well-chosen products. Now, Dr. Mamina Turagano is the dermatologist to follow if you want to understand the science behind skincare without feeling like you need a PhD. She's triple board certified, which basically means she's a skincare wizard with a ton of knowledge to share. But what makes her really stand out is how she communicates complicated information in a way that feels totally accessible and, dare I say it, fun. Her focus is often on anti-aging, but she does it in a way that feels realistic and approachable. She's not about expensive, obscure treatments. Instead, she talks about how everyday products like retinoids, vitamin C, and sunscreen can make a massive difference. And she's got a knack for tackling common myths, like the idea that you shouldn't use certain products together or that natural ingredients are always better. Following her feels like getting the best of both worlds. Solid, science-backed advice, but explained in a way that makes you feel like you could have a conversation with her over coffee. Now, let's get into Dr. Michelle Henry. If you've ever felt like skincare advice doesn't always apply to your skin tone, Dr. Henry is the derm you need in your life. She's an expert in treating all skin types, but she's especially passionate about helping those with darker skin tones. One of the most common issues people with darker skin face is hyperpigmentation, those stubborn dark spots that seem to hang around forever after a breakout or an injury. Dr. Henry is all about explaining why this happens and, more importantly, what you can do about it. She breaks down how melanin, the pigment that gives skin its color, can sometimes go into overdrive when your skin is irritated or inflamed, leading to these dark spots. And while it might be tempting to try every brightening product out there, Dr. Henry advises starting with something tried and true: sunscreen. No matter your skin tone, the sun can make hyperpigmentation worse. She also recommends ingredients like niacinamide, which is a form of vitamin B3 that helps reduce inflammation and can fade dark spots over time. But don't expect overnight miracles. Dr. Henry emphasizes that treating hyperpigmentation takes time and patience. On top of that, she's a big advocate for the fact that skincare is not one size fits all, and she provides tailored advice that considers the unique needs of darker skin tones. Last but certainly not least, there's Dr. Adeline Kikam, also known as Brown Skin Derm. Dr. Kikam is all about inclusive skincare, making sure that everyone, no matter their skin color, has access to the right products and advice. She's super active on social media, where she breaks down the science of skincare in a way that's easy to understand. One thing she's really passionate about is sun protection for darker skin tones. There's a myth out there that people with darker skin don't need sunscreen, but Dr. Kikam is here to tell you that's just not true. While it's true that darker skin has some natural protection from the sun, thanks to melanin, it's not enough to prevent damage from UVA and UVB rays. These rays can lead to premature aging, hyperpigmentation, and, in the worst cases, skin cancer. Dr. Kikam recommends using a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30, and she's all about finding formulas that don't leave that dreaded white cast. She's also big on addressing the unique needs of people with darker skin, like how certain ingredients that work well for lighter skin might not be the best for darker tones. For example, she's explained how hydroquinone, a popular ingredient for fading dark spots, needs to be used carefully on darker skin to avoid potential side effects like ochronosis, which can cause permanent darkening of the skin. Dr. Kikam's mission is to make sure that skincare is inclusive and that everyone has the information they need to take care of their skin. So there you have it, 8 of the top dermatologists who are not only incredibly knowledgeable, but also down to earth and relatable. Follow them on social media, soak up their advice, and start treating your skin like the queen it is. Any dermatologists that you would add to the list? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.